Hey guys, it's Michelle here, back from Fine Natural Hair and Faith, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. As I mentioned in my video last week, I'm going to be doing a little bit of an examination into Michelle's hair and scalp. So I thought it would be fun to do this because some of us have very similar hair textures, some of us has very similar challenges with our hair, and maybe you came up with something or you discovered something that works for something that you had an issue with that could help me or help one of our fellow subscribers. I'm going to start first by talking about the scalp, because the scalp is really the most important part of your hair care journey. Your hair comes from your scalp, obviously, and you need to make sure that your scalp is healthy. So for me, my scalp, this is something I experience, no lie, every single time I wash my hair. When it's drying and it's about to be almost dry, I actually start to itch a lot. Like I get the itchy so bad, and I don't know what is causing it. I suspect that maybe it's some of the minerals in the water that I wash my hair, but I do use a shower filter, even though shower filters do not filter everything out. I don't have hard water, so it's not the hard water, but there still could be minerals that may be causing an issue because this only happens on wash day. But like my scalp, I would say overall my scalp is very healthy. I don't get dandruffs. I don't get any kind of flaking at all. My scalp isn't even dry when it's itching because, I mean, I just washed it. It was just moisturized like with water. And then sometimes even if I add oil to my scalp right afterwards, it itches, and it lasts for 24 hours. It literally lasts for a day. By the time I'm into day 2, my scalp has settled down and all is well. I don't know. If you have any natural remedies, please share them down in the comment section below. That, you know, even I really don't want to use the chemicals on my scalp, but you experience anything similar where your scalp just itches only on wash day for like a whole day until the next day, please, like, I need your tips. Now let's talk about curl pattern. So when we look at this hair of mine, I'm going to tell you, I don't think that most people have just one curl pattern. Maybe if you have naturally straight hair, that may be one curl pattern for you. But for me, I have at least 3 curl patterns on my head. I'm going to pull this side of my hair up. And by the way, today's wash day, which is why I don't really care what my hair looks like right now. I just want to show you. This part of my hair is probably what you would call a 3C curl pattern. If you notice, there's very little curl there. This is the part of my hair that is the most fragile. It is the most prone to breakage. And this is the section of my hair where I get single strand knots. I don't get single strand knots over the rest of my head. I get them down here in the nape area where the hair is super baby fine and it is very, very, very resistant to curling and staying curled. Even if I didn't put my hair up, that section right here is probably a 3C curl pattern if you go by the number system. It's just a way of kind of identifying. I don't think it's much more helpful other than that, but see that? It's very loose compared to the rest of my head. The sides of my hair right here, it's a little bit tighter than the rest of my head. This does curl, but what's interesting is around here is where I'm most prone to frizzing. I frizz here and I frizz at my crown. When I take this out, the tightest curl pattern on my head is probably a 4A, 4B, and it is right here. So this section of my hair, right in the middle, working its way all the way down, probably about to the middle of like right here. That section of my hair is the tightest. So when I'm doing wash and goes, when I'm doing twist outs, when I'm doing any kind of style that requires my hair to be curled, I have to focus and concentrate a lot on this area with product, with conditioner, deep conditioning, because that section is the most coarse. It is also the section that tends to dry out. But here's what's interesting. People say like their crown is more prone to breakage. My crown it grows in quite easily. My crown grows slower than the rest of my hair, but it's not the most delicate part. Like, your hair takes the brunt of like the sun and the wind and everything in this section. But for me, I noticed that this is not the section that breaks off from just regular daily handling. What would cause this section of mine to break off is using flat iron and direct heat styling tools. I once used the Maxi Glide. It's like a flat iron. I don't even know if they make it anymore. This section was broken off to here. And that's when I realized I can't use flat irons. I can't. Like, I've done it like maybe, I've got my hair flat iron maybe once every 3 or 4 years. Like, I can't. I can use a blow dryer. And even when I use blow dryers on my hair, it is warm to cool air. I don't even think you can get heat damage from something like that. It's just, I only use it using the tension method, holding my hair, running this warm, cool dryer up just to kind of eliminate my obvious curl pattern. I don't do it for straightening purposes. That's all about the texture. Now let's talk about porosity. Porosity, normal, low, high. High porosity hair is typically hair that's damaged. Not, well, it is damaged because there's holes and gaps along the hair shaft. The shingles of the hair, well, they call them shingles, they're lifted. And so moisture easily escapes hair that's high porosity. I have a mixture of low and medium porosity hair. I know that might sound like, how is that possible? It is entirely possible. And while I'm not a scientist, I have a feeling that there is some link or connection to the coarseness of the hair, the section that is the most low in porosity. This section of my hair, like I said, is the section that is the most resistant to just, I mean, it's the coarser section of hair. And this is the section that is the most low porosity. I notice here and a little bit in the front here, it takes forever to get wet. What I mean by that is, let's say you spray and you wet your hair, right? Your hair should feel like moist. My low porosity section, and that's a good indicator that you have low porosity hair when it takes a while for your hair to get wet. It takes a lot. I have to concentrate cleanser more in that area and deep conditioner more in that area. And I have to baby that section because the porosity is low and it takes a lot to get moisture in. This part of my hair, this part of my hair on the sides, this section, like when I wet it and I wash it, it wets and it waves up like immediately. It's like it doesn't require as much effort to get moisture into this section, and this section also stays moisturized for longer periods of time. So that section is really more normal porosity, whereas the bulk of here is very much low porosity. Did I say low porosity before? Normal porosity, low porosity. The edges of my hair, because they tend to frizz the easiest, it could be also because, you know, it's shorter pieces of hair really don't grow, it doesn't really grow in on the edges. I mean, it grows in, but I don't know what you would say. When I go to wet this part of my hair, like when I wet it, like this section, I can feel like it feels moisturized, like just applying a little bit of water. A lot. This section in the middle here, I can be spraying water, spraying water, spraying water, spraying water. And even though I've sprayed water on this section, I squeeze it in, I feel like it doesn't quite feel, I mean, it feels wet on the surface, but it's not really penetrating as much as it does on the sides of my hair. On the edges, when I apply water, my edges are very baby fine, so I can lay my edges with just about anything. I can use shea butter, I can use gel, I can use pomades, and my edges are pretty easily tamed, but that's because the hairs in that section are very, very baby fine. Anyway, so we've talked about my curl pattern, we've talked about my scalp, we've talked about my porosity, and we've even talked about single strand knots. I've got curls that tend to really struggle with staying on top of my head. I really believe that being able to maintain length, you have to be able to keep those single strand knots at bay, and it is so difficult for me in this section of my hair down here. The best thing, what I used to do is I used to put one corn roll in the back here, and just that would be the section that would just stay braided up. You wouldn't see it. That is a way that you could protect that area, but sometimes you just don't want to do all of that. That's when the protective styling in buns comes into play, because then I can pull the hair up, and that back part is very smooth. That back section is really, really smooth. And then I can prevent those single strand knots from happening. When you want to prevent single strand knots, it's really important to keep your hair moisturized, because as those hairs begin to curl up on each other, the drier they are, you'll get a knot, and it'll be a knot that will not even be easy to take apart. Usually when I do get single strand knots back there, I would say about 70% of the time I'm able to put a little oil on my finger and slide it right out. But that's because the area stays moisturized. When my hair happens to get really dry and I neglect it, when I get a single strand knot in those sections, it's almost impossible. Like, even if I spray water, it's like matting the hair. It's almost impossible for me to just dislodge the knot. I'd have to cut it out. I do keep my scissors handy when I'm doing my hair on wash day most of the time, usually when I get to the styling section part of it. This is it. In my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you some new products that I was sent to review by a company called Curly Temple. I'm going to be reviewing their moisturizing Rasul clay and shea butter conditioner. This sounds so yummy. Their black coffee co-wash. For the styler, I will be using the lemon jello lemon butter and flaxseed gel. Now, normally, because I've had twists in my hair before, and then I took the twist out recently to just kind of like wear my hair down, I would be going back to my wash and go, because I'm alternating wash and go and loose twists. But it's so cold right now, and I really feel like I want curls, but I don't want curls that are shrunken. I'm actually going to do a curl former set. I haven't done a curl former set in so long, so as I review those products, I'm going to use them to set my hair while putting the curl formers in. And the flaxseed gel should work really well because it'll kind of freeze my curls in place, and that's what I'm looking forward to. But we'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Share your comments below. Please thumbs up this video if you liked it, or if you want to see more like it, where we do kind of like in-depth hair discussions. All right, thank you, and have a very, very blessed day. Love your hair, ladies.